Good morning, Anarchy Land. It is the last Sunday of May. It is let's see, it's supposed to be 65 here. Well, it's 48 right now. But 65 is supposed to have the real feel of 54, and I took my blanket off. My, electric one. Starting to wonder about that one. Anyway. What a week. Holy crap. It's like somebody took a little bag of shit and threw it at a great big fan. Wow. We had last weekend, Mr. Lloyd was murdered. For whatever reason. The story I've heard was that he accidentally passed a fake $20 bill and then left the store. Okay, why, if you pass a $20 bill and it's not real, usually a cashier will take a little marker and put a mark on it and tell you, this is not real. And then whether you get defensive and say yes it is or not, depends on whether the cops are called. Or if they just take it, put it aside, and use a number to track down where it started. Now usually, they'll give you a benefit of the doubt. Because sometimes these things do happen. However, these people, in their infinite stupidity, let the man walk out this door. This makes you wonder about this whole situation. Because think about it. We had too much people getting along. We were just fine. The politicians left us the hell alone. We just went and did what we wanted. And people got along just fine. All of a sudden, this gentleman was murdered. And I'm telling you, it's like the son of Satan has come up. And everybody's running to defeat him or something. I don't know. But people are raising hell to the point that there are curfews across the country. And National Guards are barricading police stations. And protecting police stations. Think about that for a minute. Why has this situation gotten to the point that they need National Guard to protect the police stations? Okay, now don't get me wrong, I do not condone the violence that we're seeing. Destroying neighborhoods, destroying the community where this man lived. I don't condone it. That is not the way to memorialize somebody. If they really want to do something to remember this man, then fix up a park, plant a tree in his honor. But don't destroy the man's community and his home. Don't go looting and go absolutely batshit crazy. Because that's what people have done. This is why it makes me wonder if this whole thing was not engineered to deepen the divide. If the table's shaking, it's because my cat has decided to get up here and visit. And she does it. Yeah, hashtag life with cats, right? Our dog is too tiny. He's a little Pomeranian. Little fuzzball. Anyway, I have to wonder if this whole thing was not timed, planned, and engineered. This is a cop that had a history of killing citizens. He was like a serial killer with a badge, gun, and a bad attitude. And there was never anything done. Ever. He got away with it. time and time again. So, why have such an uproar now? After we went 2 months of people getting along, it's because there is no real racism. When the government, when politicians, I know my daughter's over here, she's part Mexican if you don't know, and I say that there's no real racism because when the politicians are out of the picture and they're just off doing whatever they do, people get along until they enter into the picture and they engineer an event like this gentleman being murdered. Yes, it's awful for his family. What was even worse was Trump's dismissive attitude when he reached out to Mr. Lloyd's family. That was bad. But it's Trump. It's so Trump. That is something he would do. Now, I've always believed that racism was a top-down communication, meaning the government pushes it down and brainwashes citizens to believe it. They couldn't care less, to be honest with you. They couldn't. We've had politicians like Bill Clinton and his old lady, Hillary Clinton, who are admirers of one of the top grand wizards of the KKK. Does that tell you something here? That should tell you that this is a top-down communication. They set, I've always been told, and I believe this to this day, that politicians have one hand on the door, another hand in the money, as they're leaving. I mean, when shit hits the fan, they're going to grab the money, all they can, and throw out the door. They all have dual citizenship. Here and in Israel. Oh, but we're not allowed to talk about that. We're not allowed to question that. And they all have homes over there. Where do you think they're going to go? Because this rioting and looting has hit Washington, D.C. Now, if it goes too far, as it is meant to go, they will lock down the whole country again. And inflict curfews on everybody. There will be a gun grab. There will be a gold grab. Silver grab. They'll leave you and me with no protection except our complete insanity and extreme creativity. I mean, my late mother accused me more than once of booby trapping my coffee cups. So I used to stack them. Yeah, I grew up with a Green Beret, retired Green Beret for father, so I can get pretty damn creative with booby traps, okay? I can. But here's the thing. I don't want to have to. And we shouldn't have to. But given the politicians we have pedophile D or pedophile R. George Carlin used to say this was as good as it's gonna get. You have to talk about this country was bought and paid for a long time ago. He's right. He's absolutely right. He was. I mean, he's dead now, but he's still right. And we are seeing the results of it. Because these people that bought this country, paid for it, they're done. They've gotten everything out of it that they can. They've squeezed every ounce of any valuable resource out of this country. Out of the land, the resource, the people. They're done. They're ready to move on. And now, I have to talk about this. Last month, there was riots in Lansing. There were stalls that resembled Governor Whitmore on roads. There were people running around with not AK-47, that's military grade, not only they get it, AR-15s. There was even somebody in Detroit who said she should eat lead. And now, that's kind of insanity the White House has to deal with. So, I say this to you, Mr. President. These are very, very fine people. And maybe you should hear them out and bargain with them. You see, people, what goes around comes around. He incited people to do this. And now it's come home to roost. Sometimes karma is really a bitch. And sometimes she is a super mega bitch. We have gone around this world on a genocidal killing spree, stealing everything that could be stolen of value. There are artifacts that belong to the Iraqi people that are here. They are stealing oil out of Syria. And we're too busy throwing temper tantrums because we were locked down for 2 months. People spend a life in prison. I mean hardcore prison. And we had to stay in our homes while nice TVs. And no, we didn't have the big choice of ice cream like that bitch Pelosi has. But we had it better than prisoners have. Far better. I have a friend of mine that she served time. Her drug addiction landed her in prison. Her brother served 20 years. This is nothing. I mean nothing compared to what's coming. We've sat back and let this military complex do whatever they want, wherever they want it. And now, our karma has come back to bite us on the ass. Now, before you come in and start with, I'm not acknowledging the police brutality toward white people, let me tell you something. It does happen. It happens. The talking bobbleheads on TV, they don't talk about it. Because it's not vogue to talk about. However, John Cusack, and nobody is any whiter than John Cusack, besides Barry Manilow and Casper the Ghost. Okay. He was attacked by cops in Chicago while filming him for a movie during protest. See, they didn't care that he was a Hollywood Zionist actor. They didn't care. They just seen somebody and they went at it. If that does not prove that the cops do go after white citizens, I don't know what else can prove it. I really don't know what else can. So, we need to step back and reevaluate this situation with Mr. Lloyd. Yes, it was awful. My deepest condolences to his family, and my condolences to the other families of people the same cop killed. While that same Minnesota Police Department turned a blind eye, and they will again, because he'll just get a different assignment, and he'll be back. And it'll be same old, same old. Alright guys, I'm going to stop here because I'm telling you, this is just one of those subjects that is very personal to me. Because I see the risk. And having a child that is biracial, I really get pissed about it. Because if they can go after them, they could go after her. And she's only 5'3". Completely out of her frickin' mind. But she wouldn't have a chance against a cop. I'll see you guys later.